Winter had come, and for several months had held everything in an icy grip. Most of the engines found work difficult thanks to the snow. Mercifully, the snow finally began to melt, but the temperatures only slowly started to rise again. One morning, James was resting at the station, grumbling to himself.
Leave it to Henry to crash in the snow. As if the weather wasn't bad enough, now I have to deal with his freight train to make up for his uselessness.
Cheer up, James. Look on the bright side. All the snow was melting, and now it's only ice.
I suppose, but all this frost can't be good for my paint, shivered James,
as his driver and the fireman huddled on the sheltered side of his cab. James was still grumbling as they hurried along the frozen countryside.
Henry has it so easy. He gets to relax in a warm shed while I have to put my all into making sure his trains arrive on time.
As they reached the next stop, the temperatures dropped and the frost was worse than ever. As they waited, James's driver and fireman went inside a nearby building to warm up, then soon came back with news. The water towers at the next few stations have frozen over. We'll give you a good topping up while we can, he said. There's no telling when we might get some more. James shivered as the icy water cascaded into his tender, but he knew his driver was right. As they filled James's tank, the fireman forgot to tell the driver to turn the tap off. Water overflowed onto James's tender, making him shiver again. Right, said the fireman, jumping down to the footplate. Let's be off. I want to warm myself up shoveling coal. They had not gone far before James began to feel thirsty.
I need a drink, please,
he said. His driver switched on the injector, but nothing happened.
Oh, I've got such a pain, groaned James.
Your injector's failed, said his driver. Blockage in the pipe, most likely. We'll have to stop and deal with your fire. We can't go on without water.
Don't set the sleepers alight, pleaded James. Henry will never let me forget it.
The fireman laughed. You'll be all right if we just dump you down. They stopped at the nearest signal box, and James's driver asked the signalman to telephone for help. He later returned with news. We've gotten through to the works, and they're sending a diesel to come get you. The day just kept going from bad to worse for James, and this took the cake.
Rescued by a diesel, he snorted disgustedly. It's degrading. I won't go.
As they waited, his fire had dampened, his boiler was cooling, and he could feel the icy wind. Now James was upset at the diesel for making him wait so long. Finally, a small orange diesel approached the engine. Hello, you must be James, he said friendly.
I take it you must be the diesel that'll take me to the works. I hope Gordon doesn't see this.
The diesel buffered up to James, and they were off. The tension between the two engines was intense, and no one said a word, until Norman tried to make small talk. So, I hear you're a mixed traffic engine. You know, most diesels are mixed traffic engines, too. Henry tells me you're not a fan of diesels. You think we're evil, conniving. The truth is, we diesels share one fear with the rest of you.
And what would that be?
Scrap.
What would you know of getting scrapped? You're a diesel, a grim messenger of doom leading us steam engines to our demise.
Because it almost happened to me.
How? That's impossible.
Back when I was first built, I had major defects. My motor would fail, I would constantly leak fuel. I'd constantly end up in the works. I wouldn't be able to get any work done. It got so bad that my controller thought it'd be cheaper to send me off to scrap than keep trying to fix me.
But you're a diesel. I can name several railways on the mainland who would jump at the sight of buying one.
My controller tried, but word of my defect spread like wildfire. I felt like a complete failure. Thankfully, my friends from the works saved me, and now I have all the spare parts I could ever need. I'm still not 100% fixed, but it's been nice.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Thanks. It's been a rough journey, but it's finally reached its happy ending.
I hope you can accept my apology for how I've been acting.
No hard feelings. Apology accepted. As Norman towed James to the works, the two of them were chatting like old friends. At the works, James's fireman clambered up onto the tender. He tried to open the filler cap, but couldn't. "There's your answer, James," he said. "When the water overflowed, it froze your filler caps. The ice is stopping air from getting into the tank, so your injectors can't work. You'll be alright when the ice melts." He was, and that wasn't all. Thanks to his new friend from the works, even James now admits that diesels can be useful engines too.